Do say.
Can you tell me what it feels like? Won't give myself to anyone. Can you tell me how we get it right? Won't give myself to. And I believe in ecstasy, but you might never love me. So can you tell me how we get it right? Woo! I've got to be cautious. You can't help yourself. Holding on to the lights. I can't into the light. Oh, baby, you look at me. Trying to love you. Oh, love you. Trying to love you right. And I just can't see why all the lies. Taking it as a sign. Can you tell me what it feels like? Won't give myself to anyone. Can you tell me how we get it right? I love it, let's hear it. And I believe it's you. Can you tell me how we get it right? Woo! I've got to be cautious. And the fear of being alone is on your mind. When I say it isn't enough, now I'll tell you what. The wrong direction of love will change your mind. I'm taking it as a sign. I want to hear that again. Can you tell me what it feels like? Myself to everyone. Can you tell me how we get it right? Won't give myself to. And I believe but you might never love me. So can you tell me how we get it right? Woo! I've got to be cautious. I'm telling you, oh, oh. Tell me what it feels like, baby. And I believe in ecstasy, but you might never love me. So can you tell me how we get it right? Woo! I've got to be. Woo!
Hey, bud.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, there we are.
Dude, yo, when they released that video, man, like,
Oh, good.
oh,
I love the touring drummer so much, man. I was like, that is a fucking awesome fit.
yeah.
What's his name? Destin or something? Shit, I can't remember.
I'm not too
Destin
good.
Johnson.
I'm not too good on the names. Like I know Matthew, who's going to be our guest tonight,
Mhm.
and I know Bradley, who is their lead singer, and I'm blanking on their bassist name because he also lives nearby too as well.
Rob.
Rob, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but dude, like such a tight video, like
It's so good. I love that everyone's vibing. It's just a good time, man.
that's the one thing I think I'm appreciating more and more, as I develop as a musician is just like artists that put out live videos because there's no hiding whether you can play this song or not.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
no, not at all.
And that's what I love because like in a world where you can do crazy stuff with auto tune and backing tracks, like it just takes that craziness out of it. Like I remember when I turned 21, I grew up in Westchester, and my friends and I, we went out, and they kind of like they had work in the morning, and I'm like, whatever, like I'm just turned 21, I'm gonna keep bouncing around. Matt will be on in a second, guys. He's joining. But I remember
That's lovely. Like, where's Matt?
he's figuring out his camera situation, so he's
word.
Yeah, he's in the stream. But I just turned 21, and I walk in. What's going on, Brandon? I walk into Jake's bar in Westchester.
Oh, I love Jake's, man.
Hole in the wall. It's literally like the size of like our living room here.
Mm-hmm. Dude, what's right next to the fucking best pizza in the world, Rigtown?
I'm gonna bring Matt in real quick. Matt, you
okay? There's a video. Is that a Matt? I see it. There's Matt. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, so like did you watch us? We just played the live video of you guys playing in what was it like somewhere in New York in Park?
Oh, in Sacramento.
Sacramento. Okay.
Sacramento.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was Concerts in the Park. It's like a thing that the city puts on. It was a really awesome day.
That's so
Dude,
cool.
it's such a good video. We were just talking about how the first time you guys released it, I was just like blown away. I was like, this is like a perfect. It's just like a perfect display of like your live show and your like the sound you guys have and everything. It's just a really fun video.
Yeah.
So what I was talking about was how I really enjoy live videos because we're in the day and age where you can like auto tune live, you can have backing tracks, you have no clue what a band actually sounds like live.
Sure.
And this goes back to when I turned 21, I was in Jake's bar. I walk in, Bam Margera's mom and dad were sitting in the table literally right in front of the door. Like it's only, I mean, the bar is only like 30 feet. I think like the room is only like 30, 35 feet going all the way back.
The size of my room.
Are you talking about the Note?
No. Jake's bar.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like way smaller, like the size of the stage.
Yeah, lots of
And I grew up like I knew Bam's parents. They came into my parents' restaurant all the time. Like I know Jess. But they were together. Like Jess was sitting there with his friend and his mom and his dad. So like I went to the bar and I start ordering like I think it was like 50-cent beers there at the time. And Bam's parents left, Phil and April. And I went over to Jess and I was like, hey man, like I just turned 21. I'm out enjoying my time. Is it cool if I sit with you? I'm friends with your parents. We met like before. He's like, oh yeah, pizza peddler. So I sit down and Jess starts telling me stories about how like he got to tour with Metallica and like all these bands that he grew up listening to, Guns N' Roses, but he was super disappointed when he toured with Guns N' Roses because they had one guy that was just fucking around with Axl Rose's vocals and an auto tune, and like he said like during sound check if that guy wasn't there, like his vocals were horrible. So like even since then I've had such a great appreciation for like bands that can pull stuff off live.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, even more so, is just like the energy. Because there's a lot of people who, you know, they'll just stand there and they look like they don't want to be there and they don't care. And that, like, you can be as auto-tuned or whatever as you want, but if you're having fun and at least like putting effort in, like, I don't know, there's just something about that that's a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, no, I agree with 100%. Like when I see like a lot of the bands you played with that I've enjoyed, like especially when I see like bands like Don Broco and Bad Rabbits, like it's a whole experience, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
Bad Rabbits. Man, yeah. I remember the first time I saw that band at Warped Tour. And
same. Yeah, that's where I saw them at Warped Tour.
Mine, man.
I was. Man, was it the? Did you go the year when Fox Shazam was also on the same stage? They're like a classic rock band or whatever. It was nuts.
I'm trying to remember. I've seen them at Warped Tour maybe like 2 or 3 years. But the first year, you might be right. It might have been Fox Shazam. Yeah. Yeah,
it was like just some off. What was that?
Down at Camden.
Yeah. It was like some offshoot stage where like there was just different. Like I think there was like some folk like metal band that opened up the thing. It was nuts.
Okay.
At least when I went to Camden and I went to Scranton that year, and I saw them both times. I was like, I had to talk to them. They were some just amazing dudes, just amazing performers.
Yeah.
But what was it?
Music, dude.
What was that?
I miss live music.
Oh man,
so much. It's not enough just seeing the concerts at home. Like watching the Post Malone John this past Friday was neat and all, but I'm like, damn, I wish I was just there, like just to move around and everything.
Have you? So. Are both you guys like from Phoenixville area?
He is. I just hang out there. Okay. I used to live in Norristown for a few years, but then beyond that, I've been up in Kutztown for most of the time here.
Okay. Are either you guys familiar with Railroad? The bar.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it sounds familiar to me, but I don't think I've ever been there.
So it's like right down the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing just like to-go beer and food. And today, for the 1st of May, they did a social distancing concert, and they had a guy play out on the patio.
Oh,
we,
nice.
We went and just like sat in the back of the trunk, and like you can just get to-go beer, and it was really nice to actually like be in an environment of live music again, even something that simple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss this Tuesday, man, because the taco place we go to in Phoenixville, they're gonna have a live mariachi band, but like now it's just
I don't think they are now. But we did tear up some Uncle B's yesterday. Here's a little picture of my pulled. I prepped it, man. I've been playing around with this program, but it's the
it shows.
It's the brisket French fries with Alabama white sauce, dude. It's Matt. Have you been over at Uncle B's?
I was at the old location.
Okay.
I've driven past, but I haven't been to the new location.
Okay, dude, it's
interesting. I look at the Brady Bunch there for a second.
I know. I'm playing around with all the options. I think this looks a little bit better. What's your favorite place in Phoenixville for brews, for local brews?
Strictly downtown.
Yeah.
Strictly downtown, Root Down.
Yep.
Nice. I was gonna say Root Down's pretty much styled up there with that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the sour IPAs.
Okay.
I think Root Down like crushes those. Stable 12 and Conshohocken are great.
Those are my two, like the two running to after Root Down.
Yeah, Root Down's definitely number one. I mean, the environment, beers, food, like it's just an all around great spot.
That's what's really cool about Uncle B's now is there's like a full bar there, and I think they have a couple like on tap that you can't get at actual Root Down.
I would assume so.
Yeah, but I love Root Down because I'm huge on dark beer, and since the IPA craze has started, like everybody's just brewing IPAs, and like they maybe will have a dark beer, but Root Down has had like 2 on tap at one. Like during the summer, they had 2 on tap, which is beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
so you like those high percentage beers.
I mean, like that's the added benefit of it. But I just love like stouts and like anything like really dark, especially like milk chocolate stouts. Anything on nitro that's a stout, I will order like hands down. I don't even need to try it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, what was it? I seen you were drinking some great stuff from Civil Society the other day, or a while back, I should say.
I don't know if I've had any of their stuff.
Civil Society, or like Against the Grain, maybe it was. I couldn't recall.
Me?
No, Matt. I was saying there's some beers you had on your Instagram the one time. I was looking through it. I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah, you got some like heady, like some stuff from The Alchemist or stuff from some Soul and Sun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Alchemist or anything like that. Maybe 2 years ago, we took a trip up to Vermont and did that whole kind of run.
Nice. It's a good beer scene up there.
Yeah, oh, man. Like Sip of Sunshine and all that, like Lawson's, and if you go even further, Bissell Brothers or like Trillium or any of those kind of places.
I'm so glad Lawson's just started like distributing, because we started getting it in Exton, and I've been a fan ever since, man.
Yeah, Foodery and Sedona Tap House in Phoenixville both carry Lawson's pretty regularly now.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, such good stuff.
I'm waiting for more places to carry Tired Hands, because that's like my number one.
Yeah, I know they were like doing. My friend lives in that area, and they were doing like delivery. Like they actually have someone walk to the area or like drive out or something. But I think they stopped doing that recently. I think because they just weren't getting enough demand.
They've still been doing it every day. They launch a limited release at 11 a.m. every day, and it's
sold out. Really?
Wow.
Yeah. That's nuts. They are crazy. I know they had the Ecto Cooler beer a while back, and that was some crazy stuff.
That place, man, we started going there with a couple old friends.
What's up, man?
When it was like just the Brew Cafe, and it like just what it's grown into and what it started as. It's always been consistently awesome, and just like their whole vibe, their whole aesthetic, all the beers that they do it's all great. That's my number one spot for sure.
Nice. What was the thing we had someone that asked? What are your thoughts on the Heady Topper?
I like Heady Topper a lot. It's like super super hoppy and everything. I think it's a little overrated, and I think that's kind of caught on. And I actually saw Heady Topper available at Giant a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Like
here, Giant, like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I can't remember which one. It was either Royersford or Phoenixville. It was probably like it was like right before the lockdown, so like 6-7 weeks ago maybe. But I was walking down the aisle and I like did a triple take, and it was just like they have Heady Topper at Giant.
Yeah, I probably would have been like, this isn't real. I'm dreaming right now. I'm in a simulation. Like I would just be freaking out just staring at the box.
Yeah, it's a great beer, but it's not my favorite. I enjoy it as a treat, but it wouldn't be like my regular go-to. I'm currently drinking Sloop Juice Bomb.
Ooh, what is it? Who does that?
Sloop Brewing.
Okay, gotcha. I never heard of that. What are they based out of?
I don't know.
It's all good. Probably look it up in a hot minute.
Let's see here.
The power of the internet. We have it right here.
Hopewell Junction, New York.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, they make a bunch of really like juicy, dank kind of tropical IPAs.
Nice. That is right up my alley.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I got myself some okay stuff. It's one of those like malt liquor coffee things. It's Mad Bean. It's terribly watered down with heavy cream right now, just to make it taste a little something.
Gotcha.
Wow.
That's not I tread into very much.
Yeah, I like wanted to try some just because like the if you haven't had the PBR coffee, John, yet that stuff is weird.
Yeah,
it's like it tastes just like Yoo-hoo.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, maybe some other ones would be great, and this is the third one I've had, and I'm good. I think I'm gonna be done getting these coffee Johns from now on.
My bottle opener my cousin got me for Christmas.
Is that gritty? No,
it's a beard.
I'm joking. It's like honestly, like the mouth and everything.
It does gritty. It does almost look like gritty.
What are you drinking, Luke?
I just did. Where's the can? I went to the foodering, got Down East double blend of a cider. It's unfiltered.
Nope.
And then I've got some classic woodchuck amber, which I think was the first. I think that was the first cider I ever had. I used to buy that stuff by the case and like go and shower and have it in the that would be my beer, my shower beer.
Good old shower beer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a great treat.
Yeah, it's a great.
I actually started drinking when I was 27, and I started drinking ciders.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I got very into ciders, and I was like, oh, I can feel like this off of like apple juice. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned like all the beers and everything, but you're beyond drinking. It seems like you're pretty active. Like what was it? I saw you were like rock climbing and everything. I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been doing that for?
Probably like 3.5-4 years ago. When I was younger, I did it with like Boy Scouts.
The hounds.
I had some birthday parties at like rock climbing gyms when I was younger and stuff. And then while I was actually touring, my girlfriend Danny's brother was living with us, and he got into rock climbing and got her involved while I was on tour, and they started going together. And then I came home and was like, well, yeah, I definitely want to do this. And we got really into it for a while. Obviously, we haven't gone in a while.
Yeah, I was going to say with this, is there even like anything available? Besides maybe a rock like climbing gym at home, I don't even know.
Well, there's a lot of, we live in a great area. Like Birdsboro Quarry has a crazy outdoor rock climbing area that we go to every once in a while.
That's where I used to live. I used to live in Birdsboro.
Nice. I love it out there.
It wasn't nice, but yeah.
That's fair. There's iffy parts there, but you know, or like down towards like Mount Gretna or anything like that. There's different types of outdoor climbing. There's a type of outdoor climbing called bouldering, which basically you don't use ropes and you're just climbing big boulders. And you basically, they make these things, they're called crash pads, and they have backpack straps, and you hike out and you find a spot where you can kind of climb, and it's a cool day trip with a group of people just to hike out and find a cool spot to just set up shop and mess around on some rocks and stuff. And I don't know, I've always loved being outdoors, so we hike a lot, we rock climb, we have kayaks, we have a camper.
You're set to do all that.
yeah, when I'm home, we're always trying to be outdoors and stuff.
That's rad. Yeah, I used to go on the trail on the Schuylkill River Trail like pretty much every weekend because I used to live right behind it, right by the river.
Our house is literally like attached to the Schuylkill River Trail.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. It's an easy spot, and there's just so much cool stuff to see.
Yeah,
it's right in the backyard.
So I don't know if you know this, Matt, but like I own a digital marketing company, so I do social media marketing and website design. And when I moved to Birdsboro, the only hashtags for #Birdsboro that existed were from people that didn't live there but went rock climbing there. Like,
that's a big destination for that.
Yeah, that's how ass backwards Berks County is. Like, I moved there like literally beginning of it was like the last month. It was December 23rd of 2013. So it's not like it was like that early into social media. Like, but that was the only like hashtag for Birdsboro that was like nobody in Birdsboro was using hashtags except for like it was mostly people from like Philly that went all the way out to Birdsboro.
Yeah, so there's a gym in Reading called Reading Rocks, and the owner of it is one of the people responsible for setting up all of the climbing in Birdsboro.
Yeah.
And,
really? That's awesome.
That's actually where we started climbing, and we like met a whole incredible group of friends there that we still like keep in touch with. We have parties and hang out with regularly, and but that whole like community there literally like built Birdsboro. So anything you're seeing from there is pretty much because of those people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the quarry.
Yep.
Which is funny because like it took me a while to realize where like some of the crazy explosion sounds were coming from. Because I lived like right off.
You said you were like just setting off TNT in your backyard, though.
No. So I was off of 422, and the quarry is like 2 miles.
Neighbors are out there shooting dynamite. Like,
well, like it just sounds like it didn't sound like a gunshot. Like I didn't know what it was. Like it was like some sort of explosion, but like it took me a while to figure it out. It wasn't until we went to they call it the 82 trail. Scott Salad actually took me out that way.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love that spot.
Yeah, and then like there's a quarry right there, so that's like a mile or two from my house. And then there were signs that were like do not go past here. Like there are like live dynamites used. So
that's hilarious.
But I think we should jump into our questions because we're like 20 minutes in now. I think we've got a good amount of stuff for you. I know Juan did a lot of research.
Oh yeah, I had to, and then if we're gonna have someone as awesome yourself on there, and thanks for actually coming on the whatever you call this podcast live show. We appreciate that.
No, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, what was it? I know earlier we were talking about touring a little bit. As you're like we got into rock climbing, what have you. That was when you were with Emarosa, right? That was just a few years ago.
Yeah, I've been playing with them for about 5.5 years or so.
Okay. Yeah, because you were on the 131 album, right?
Yep.
That's when you debuted. I think, or you were touring with them before that.
Yeah, so I started touring with them like right after Versus came out.
Okay.
And then I basically was like a hired fill-in or whatever you want to call it for a year and a half or so. And I just kind of expressed interest in being more of a part creatively, and then 131 was the first thing that I was like fully a part of.
That's rad. Yeah, I love that album. Especially the first track. I think it's "Hurt," if I'm remembering this right. That is "Hurt." My jaw dropped just like hearing like that opening. I mean, his vocals are just great. But then right after that, you get the guitar and everything else, and it just adds on into this huge sound. And I liked a lot of the. You wrote most of the guitar stuff for that album and for Peach Club, or?
I mean, ER is definitely like one of the main writers from the. ER is Emarosa.
Okay.
if we can say it, ER is Emarosa, 100%.
Okay.
He has been around from the beginning. He has contributed by far the most. But that record was really cool because we pretty much locked ourselves in a room for like 2.5 weeks with Connor Dennis, who plays drums for Beartooth.
Nice.
Okay.
So he tracked drums on 131 and Peach Club for us.
Cool.
So we pretty much, at the time we were rehearsing in Kentucky, where the band was originally from.
Mm-hmm.
And we were renting out this room that was above a music shop. And
that's cool.
We literally just spent like anywhere from 8 to 14, 15 hours a day just in this room. And we wrote like 23, 24 songs, whatever.
Yes.
And
oh my god.
we literally finished that, packed up the van, drove to Nashville, and then spent 5 weeks in Nashville with Casey Bates and just like hashed everything out. And it was such a cool experience. Casey's such an awesome dude, and he's a producer who's very open to like trying new things, whether he's comfortable with it or not. And that like really made that whole recording process pretty special, just because like I think we all knew that record was going to be a transitional record. Mm-hmm. And you know,
especially from the previous stuff from Versus, it was just so drastic and such a awesome change.
I think that's where you guys kind of really like fell into the niche with Bradley.
Yeah.
Like that's where like you guys really kind of like broke from, like you still have that old sound, but like I think it's where you guys all became very cohesive together.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that was literally just us being like locked and kind of forcing it to, you know,
yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
But it was really cool. You know, even the band started basically as like a post-hardcore metal, whatever you want to call it, band or whatever.
I remember those early albums. I was just like the progression was just so strange. Even before with having like Johnny Craig on the vocals and everything, I was like, this band's been through so much.
Yeah, I've got a side story we can go into later.
But
cool. As do I.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we all were fans of that whole realm, and we still like wanted to tie things into that. And I think, you know, I don't know if anybody knows this, but in Bradley says this is the last night in my body, which is a Receiving and a Sirens reference.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that sounds so familiar.
There's a handful of
Lockdown, baby.
There's a handful of like little Easter egg kind of things that we sprinkled in that, and a lot of it was reoccurring elements or things like that from, you know, references to other bands, and like things like that were just kind of really cool and special to like us, like especially like me, Yar, and Jordan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think knowing that it was going to be a transitional record and being able to sprinkle in like those things, but still, you know, have like the Helpless and like things like that were leaning more towards where we wanted to go. And it's not just like, you know, there's definitely a handful of people on the internet who are just like, oh, they just wanted to make money or whatever. But like,
oh yeah, I've read all those comments. Especially there's like this one Reddit post I was reading up on because I was trying to figure out. I'll get to this in a second. I was trying to figure out the album artwork and who did that. So I went to this rabbit hole and I was just reading like these comments, and I'm just like, man, like these people have nothing better to do than just hate. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that is the epitome of an internet troll. That
yeah, and I mean, it took us a while to get past that whole Johnny Craig realm. You know, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle. It was frustrating for all of us. I mean, like Bradley's mom literally had people messaging her saying that like he was a shitty dude and like all these things just to like start things up. Like, anyways, I don't want to get into it. It was a struggle, but you know, we took all of that and kind of, you know, just put it into 131 and made it, I think, that really good transitional record that showed where we wanted to go and had all the elements of where we were where the band was coming from.
Hell yeah, you took that in stride and you made that like kind of the catalyst to what I mean. I think everyone else thinks you're doing great. Obviously, I think you're doing great.
I love it.
I can't. I mean, it's enough to say this, but I can't stop listening to Peach Club. At least one time a month, I'm ripping it real quick.
Thanks, man.
Well, yeah. Juan, did you take a listen to the record they did after 121? It was like an EP. You guys did like almost like a
reimagined,
dude.
That was really fun.
Because I love 131, and then so for some reason I missed that EP. Like it's just like
you're better off.
No, dude, no. All
right. Let me just say something, and I'll keep it very quick. That EP, out of all of the bands and recording experiences that I've had, recording that EP was the most miserable bullshit I've been through.
Oh,
I'll leave it at that.
That's fair.
All right.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
We actually today launched a Patreon where we are going to be doing our own reimagines from Peach Club.
Nice.
We released one for So Bad. We also released a remix version of it, which is done by a Grammy-nominated producer, super dancey and fun. Nice. Check that out on Spotify or wherever. But we're going to be doing some more reimagined stuff.
Okay.
So that 131 reimagine, we really went into that wanting to do different stuff.
Right.
We had a bunch of different vibes kind of planned out, and it just kind of didn't happen. So, so yeah, we'll see. We're working on some cool stuff though. We're going to be pushing a ton of content through the Patreon, all kinds of updates. We're all writing a ton right now. So
that answers like a couple of the questions I had on our list actually, like, because you know, coming from a social media marketing like lifestyle, I can't even say background because it's like ongoing, but one of the things I've been telling bands to do for like the last number of years is like live band studio sessions, live content, like just putting stuff out like behind the scenes. So I'm glad you brought that up without me asking, because like right now it's like it's checkmate right now, like because you can't go and tour.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, we put this record out and we had a lot of things kind of going and building, and right before this record, we got a new manager and some things developed with that. And all these things were kind of like lining up, and we had a summer tour booked, and we had all these things panned out, and then it just came to a total halt. And it is extremely stressful to think about, and we're trying to make the most of it. So right now, our kind of rough plan is sometime in the summer when traveling's a little less of a clusterfuck.
Right.
We're all going to go to LA and we're going to record, whether that ends up being an EP or a handful of singles or a full length. We don't have a contract right now, so we're just going to do whatever the hell we want.
Right.
So we're all individually writing and sending each other stuff, and just kind of waiting until we can get together and make some things happen.
I would from a musician standpoint and from like the business owner standpoint, you watch Audio Tree, right?
Yeah.
Dude, try to put out something like that, because you guys don't have a lot of like quality studio sessions like that.
Like, it's hard though, because we all live in different states.
I know.
We're so.
I was gonna say, I don't know if all of you guys live near each other or not. I know some of y'all were dispersed.
I know.
So Bradley lives in LA. ER lives in Kentucky, and then I live in Spring City, and Bobby lives in Philly. So Bobby and I are the closest.
I thought he was in Pottstown.
No. Bobby and I are both originally from Wyatt Missing area. We both went to Wilson High School.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wyatt Missing area.
I'm just much older than he is. He's my younger and much handsomer brother from another mother.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say, you guys are writing and everything. Does you guys still working with Alan Lewis? You work working with for Peach Club or no?
Well, Peach Club we did with Courtney Ballard.
Was it Courtney Ballard?
Yeah.
Maybe I got my facts wrong. That's not good. It was additional personnel. I was seeing. I knew Alan Lewis did a couple. I was excited about that, honestly, because I knew Alan Lewis did a couple R&B stuff and a little bit R&B production.
Yeah, I believe he mixed and mastered our singles.
Okay.
But the actual record we tracked with Courtney Ballard. At the time, he was working out of the Madden studio, so we did that whole record there, which was a cool experience. He has his own place now, and we're going to continue to work with him.
That's good.
Yeah. So basically, in between 131 and Peach Club, Bradley had been living in LA, and through a handful of people and events and time, whatever, he was introduced to Courtney, and they started writing together. And we had 2 separate writing sessions, one here at my house for about 2 weeks, and then one in Kentucky for a week, where we all kind of took our ideas, our demos, and cut things apart, rehashed whatever. And then we took the things that Bradley and Courtney had started and all of our ideas and, basically stewed them around for X amount of weeks. And that's where Peach Club came from.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're definitely planning this summer on still working with Courtney. He is probably one of the best dudes I've met through music, producer, studio, whatever wise. He is just a ball of joyous energy and a pleasure to be around, and says the most ridiculous shit. And he's just an awesome dude.
Got a good Courtney one-liner.
Yes, he always says, "Man, that's hard body."
What?
Hard body is like, that's tough as shit. Like,
okay.
So like he'd be, I don't know, we'd like when what was it, like Hell of It, when we were working on that or whatever, the chorus would come in and be like, "Oh, it's so hard body." And just like, I don't know. He says some crazy shit. He's a great dude. He's a pleasure to work with. So
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Luke. Wow, yeah, that's your name now, Luch. I know Luke can vouch for all the crazy crap comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, same.
I have just as much, if not more.
But did you have a question for Matt, man?
Yeah. So you guys are all playing Balaguer guitars now?
Correct.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah. I met Joe through Craigslist.
As many people do, apparently.
It was a man-seeking man ad. No, I bought a
FWB
412 off of Joe, and I went to his mom's house in Pottstown, and I picked it up, and we were just like talking, and I I don't even remember the year, but I was playing in a handful of bands in the area. So was he. I think he was in, I don't know if you guys remember Granada Stream.
Yeah.
So I think he was
Not
playing
really
in them at the time. And we were both just like, dude, we know all the same people. Like, why aren't we friends? This is weird.
Right.
And like, we were both straight edge at the time. Obviously, I'm not. But
Right.
yeah, so we just like connected and we hung out for a while, and then we worked together at 3 different places.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've known Joe a long time, and I am so proud of what he has done.
Dude, same.
I have been trying to get Joe to like either tour in bands or, you know, whatever. You guys remember oh shit, I just blanked. Connor Hess's original band with Justin Krause, With Life in Mind. You remember that band?
Oh, yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like Justin Krause.
When they like were starting to tour and do stuff, and they were going out with like Texas in July when they were starting to blow up, and I tried to get Joe to join that band so hard. And
Join Texas in July or
no, With Life in Mind.
Okay, but yeah,
and even like I think either Breather and a couple other bands, like I just always, anytime I would hear of somebody looking for a guitar player, I'd be like, I know this dude. He's the best guitar player ever. He writes the sickest shit. Just like, trust me.
He is a really good guitar player.
It's stupid.
I've seen some videos and I'm just like, how? It's already bad enough you know how to make guitars.
Yeah.
Guitars. They can also like shred the shit out of them. Like, damn it.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
So give me a rig rundown of what you're playing right now, just for all the musicians out there that are like getting a little moist right now thinking about guitars.
Sure. So tour wise, I am a big fan of like the simplest rig possible. With some exceptions, but so we've been endorsed by Laney. So I've been playing a Laney Ironheart, which is just this little lunchbox Ted. It's 3 channels, has reverb and a boost. It's just killer. You can toss it in your backpack. You can take it anywhere. I've literally just been running that in a Line 6 HX effects.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my whole rig. I have just
a
volume and expression, and I have screenshots or snapshots set up for every song. But I'm not sure. I'm right now I'm thinking about either getting the new Fractal FM3, the little guy.
Okay.
And then it has like a 6-foot switch add-on, and it's just like the perfect rig in one little pedal board setup. But either something like that, or I might grab a Kemper, or the Neural DSP has a board coming out.
Okay.
Closer, like later in the summer.
Have you fucked with the Helix stuff?
I was gonna ask if you ever done anything with the Helix.
The HX Effects is it's basically a Helix without the amps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all of my effects and everything, my compression, EQ, anything is all on the HX Effects. And then I just run that into my head, and I can change my channels and everything all through that.
Right.
When I first started playing with Emarosa, I actually it was before the Helix. It was I want to say like the HD 500X.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like the highest model before the Helix came out.
Right.
I had that for a while. It was cool. I don't know. I've gone through a lot of gear, and I haven't really settled on anything. But Joe actually just got the FM3 from Axe Effects. Okay. And he's the one who's kind of leaning me on and swaying me that direction.
Gotcha.
It's just like the perfect rig. It's quality wise, it's tiny, perfect, so easy. I mean, we're about to switch to in-ears, so we're going to be building a whole rack with that.
Yeah.
And just trying to keep everything as like fly ready as possible.
Sure.
In my mentality. So
Yeah, I feel like such an idiot because I have such heavy gear right now. When I was younger, when I
I
bought
get it, man. I used to own like 2 Framus full stacks, and like I get owning a lot of gear.
I saw you offloaded a bunch of stuff like a year or two ago. I remember seeing the list.
Probably when I quit Toda.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you had a bunch of stuff.
Do you still rep any of the Jackson stuff that you were playing before?
I don't. I got 2 basses from them when I was playing in Toda, and then I got rid of them, and I got endorsed by a Japanese company called Fujigen.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And I had a bass from them, which actually I sold to Bobby, and Bobby currently owns, and that has been Bobby's backup on tour.
Okay. Oh, keeping it in the band. That's rad.
Now, what guitar are you playing by Balaguer right now?
Hold on.
Yes, show us your guitar.
Let's get this out,
folks. That guitar porn. Yes.
Oh, goodness. And slow.
Oh, yeah.
Get it all in the shot.
I love it.
And also, anyone out there is watching, if y'all got any questions, feel free to drop them on.
That is the Toro, correct?
Correct. So this is
that's what I want to get.
Yeah, this is my semi-custom Toro. It turned out so sick.
Dude.
Gosh. Makes me want mine even more now. Mine's like the one I had was like cream, black, and purple, and it just this gnarly Mauve Avenger looking thing.
So I have like I want to say it's like one of either 1 or number 3 of the Thickets.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, which I love. I have also a sky blue Growler, which I had before the Thicket, which I love, but like I don't know, there's something about the Thicket that just plays really like it's like a little bit more comfortable for me.
I think if I were to design and customize another guitar, I think I would go with the Gaia.
Okay.
That's really where my vibe is at now. I really wanted. I mean, that guitar was a priority. I wanted more of a Strat style, you know, especially for this album kind of stuff. You know, it was where my mind was at. But I really want a Gaia. I mean, I love the Growler and the Thicket.
I had a Hyperion first.
I love Hyperion too.
Yeah.
They're all
gotta catch them all.
Yeah,
Oh God!
I have let's see, 4 other guitars that I'm currently potentially trying to trade towards Balaguers. So
I've seen in the Balaguer groups. I've seen, bud. Yeah.
I got the itch, you know, but.
Okay. Yeah. It was so Joe. Just for everybody that's like all the guitarists that are tuning in, Joe actually just released today. It's a like a
Midnight
black.
Series.
Yeah, the Midnight Series is like a blacked out Growler and a Thicket.
Yep.
And man, does it like. I'm still waiting for my stimulus check, and it's so tempting.
You haven't been stimulated yet, dude.
I have not stimulated.
Gotta keep them stimulated.
Man.
My stimulation is going towards a car. I unfortunately was in an accident a couple of weeks ago, and
ouch!
Oh damn!
Yeah, now I am in the market for a new vehicle.
I'm glad you're right, man. Holy shit!
Yep.
Yeah, what was it? Were you looking in the realm of for a new car? Just anything that's on wheels, or?
No, I am either looking at getting a Toyota 4Runner or a Subaru, or maybe a small truck. Something V6 that we can tow a camper, and I can tow.
That makes sense. It's like all the active stuff and all the outdoor stuff.
Well, so while I'm home, I work landscaping. So my boss, I work for a guy who lives in Spring City, pretty much. He's like right on the border, but he's an awesome dude, and having access to a trailer or anything like that, I can borrow some gear of his. So being able to have something to tow is kind of nice, even outside of just our camping and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm currently. I mean, this will be the last thing we talk about cars, and we'll get more into some some more questions, but like I'm looking for at a Rav4 or like a Honda CRV just to have.
Join the Rav Club, baby.
I'm a big dude, and I have a Ford Focus right now, and
Okay.
I literally like I'm literally like diving in to get into the car because it's all street parking in Phoenixville. So I'm always getting in on a curb.
Yeah.
So I'm either diving in to get in, or I'm like climbing out of my Ford Focus. And every time there's somebody there watching me, I just feel I'm like, it's
fat guy in a little car for me too, dude. Trying to get in there and shit. The last show we played, wherever the hell that was, it's some cafe club with the Bunny the Bear.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I hated getting out of your car that day. I don't know, the wet gravel and all this crap, and I'm slipping and sliding. I'm looking like a moron in front of all these people. I mean, not that I already don't, but like in front of all these people, they're like, fat, you can't get out of the car. I'm like, I'm trying.
Two fat guys climbing out of a Ford Focus. Yeah, have you heard of the Bunny the Bear?
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. Where was this show?
Kasashawan?
Yeah.
Katasakwa?
Katasakwa, there we go.
That's it.
I kept saying it like a Minnesotan accent on the way up there.
Is that down near like Lebanon?
It's up it's up near Allentown.
Okay. I've definitely seen that band once or twice.
Yeah.
They played the Silo a few times.
The Silo, okay. Yeah.
They were also playing with last time we played with them when we were Awaking Mercury. It was up at Planet Trog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh God, that place is crazy.
Yeah.
What was that? Anthony's show?
Ooh, I don't even remember. Yes.
It was Anthony or whatever.
Anthony and Pat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the entertainment company they had.
ACI.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Now I'm ringing a bell. I was trying to think. I'm like, they had some great bands go through.
The last memory of a show that I have of going to Planet Trog was to see No Bragging Rights.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys do you remember that band, Luke?
I no.
Yeah, I know.
They were like a Day to Remember before a Day to Remember got cool.
Okay.
But like better?
Arguably so.
I'm not a big a Day to Remember fan, so like I would support that.
I'm not either. But at the time, anyways, great dudes, fantastic dudes, and Toda did a tour with them. Actually, we did 2 tours with them. But anyways, they came through Planet Trog, and I think them. I want to say maybe Acacia Strain. It was a weird tour, but that place was a venue.
They're back now. I saw Scott Salad's band played with Silent Planet there.
Oh, okay.
They were sick. They're a sick band to begin with. They were really good live, and then we played with Such Gold there as well.
Yeah,
and they were sick. Like,
I loved that band so much, man.
I never got into them.
Dude, the riffs that guitar that the lead singer plays while he's singing, the only thing that I've seen that's better was the shirt that I'm wearing. In Angles.
Oh, in Angles, dude.
Have you heard them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we played with them in Lancaster at this like Kaleidoscope Studios.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so small, but it's such a cool little venue.
Dude, I love Lancaster.
I felt like such a shit guitarist. Like, dude, like
I always feel like that.
No, like they played before us, and like while we're playing, like I see like the guitarist looking at me, and I totally just start fucking up. Like I was just like, I felt like such a shit guitarist. Like, cause like they're like literally tapping and like shredding while singing.
Oh yeah.
And like
here they're harmonizing the tapping.
I know.
So neat.
Yep.
I know. They're such a good band.
So similar quick story. Do you know the band Era?
Yeah. I like Era a lot. They just released something recently that I've been digging. But go on, sorry.
Well, they're putting an album out soon that they did with Grant and Carson out in York. And anyways,
Yeah.
When I
Shout out Era.
When I started touring with Toda, we toured with them, and they're one of a small handful of bands that I like regularly keep in touch with. And Jesse, their guitar player, is like the most talented dude. Like he has a band called Ghost Atlas, which is super dope.
Yep.
Super Predator, has a great voice. Anyways, we played Nashville, and he came out, and so did their drummer Alex. And I remember while we were playing, I forget what song it was, but I was just like playing this part, and I just like remember looking at him and just being like, yeah, this dude's like so good. And then I just hit this wrong note, and he's just like, I just instantly turned and was just like, nope, see you later.
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Everything. Yep. That's exactly how I felt when we were playing within Angles.
Yep.
I remember the lead singer coming in, and I felt like he might not have, but I felt like as soon as I'm playing, like I felt like he was just going like
it's the worst feeling.
Yeah. So
was it
yeah, go ahead.
No, you're gonna say something, man.
So one of the questions I had was what's like one of your, and I'm not talking about gear or like something you need to play on tour, like what's your must-have, like your comfort thing to have on tour to keep you sane or keep you busy or like whatever?
Like your GQ top 10.
Yeah.
Your must-haves.
I'll
say one right now. I need Uncrustables whenever I'm out.
Okay. That's fair. I was thinking it's slightly more practical, like headphones or like something that like give me some kind of privacy.
Right.
I mean, you put the Uncrustables all over your body, and no one's gonna mess with you. That's privacy in a box. Sorry, go on.
You're not wrong. Man, I don't know. I honestly I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff, so like I'll just put headphones in and kind of just dive into my own world. I also like to just walk a lot. So when we show up to places, if I know I have like 3 hours, ER is a very stay in the green room and have a couple beers and hang out kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else kind of stays close by. I'm someone who always just wants to explore. So, I'm always wandering.
You're that guy in the band. Gotcha.
1,000%, dude. I'm that guy rolling in on a bird scooter like 8 minutes before set, and everyone's standing there like, where the fuck is he? Yeah, that's me, 100%.
All right.
I've done that
a
couple times.
So like wandering off and walking and just exploring is another thing I think for me to just kind of like get in my own headspace.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't know, like I like good beers. Usually our rider is pretty simple, just like most of us are some form of vegetarian or vegan or fluctuate in and out of that realm. So
yeah,
just like
okay. I'm friends with Fred Mascherino, who's Taking Back Sunday. He's got the Color Fred now, and he's been vegan for years. So like,
yeah, he has that sandwich shop in Westchester.
Yeah, man, Love Again Local. I love that shop, man.
Dude. Yeah. Which if you say that to him, he's just kind of like, well, it's my wife's really, like she lets me say stuff of what they should do every once in a while. He's such a humble dude. He's so humble.
I've never met him. I mean, are you friends with? I'm assuming you're good friends with Keith.
Yeah,
Gibby.
So,
Gibby.
When Dane and I first moved here, there was like a vegan or vegetarian fest in downtown Phoenixville, and his place had a stand there. And I remember we went there, and I got a sandwich from him, and I just like I walked away, and I was just like, I have this weird feeling that I know that guy. And we just kept walking for like 2 blocks, and I just like stopped, and I was like, that guy used to be in Taking Back Sunday. What is happening? And
that's hilarious. That's a great way to remember him.
Yeah. I was on the phone with him. Dude, the days are just all blurred, but I think it was yesterday. And I was like, John was on the phone with him, and John like had me come and talk. My roommate John Irick, and Fred was like, yeah, like I was listening to your show the other day, and like my wife and I went and watched Train to Busan. So thank you for like talking about that movie. And I was like, and then John's like, yeah, Fred, you should go on the show. And Fred's like, well, like, I don't really know anything about TV or movies. And I'm like, dude, that's like, I was like, I'm having Matt from Emarosa on like this week. He's like, oh yeah, I know that band. They're good. Like, I was like, we'll talk later, Fred. Like, you'll be fine. Like, you don't need to know anything about movies or TV. Like, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Just bros hanging out and just shooting the shit.
Yeah. Dude, he's one of the nicest guys, like the most humble, like nice dude you could ever meet.
Yeah.
Like such a good dude.
Yeah. Does he not play with Taking Back Sunday anymore?
No.
For some reason I thought he got. Oh, it was John Nolan who got back with them.
Yeah.
He was the original one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, they also kicked out Eddie, who was like.
Yeah.
They're like long running. Like so, my roommate John, they just did like Fred's band, The Color Fred, and then Eddie's band, which he's not in now. I just found out last night. They did like an emo night tour for like 3 weeks, like three nights, I should say, not 3 weeks. And my roommate John does emo night here in Phoenixville, emo night in Suburbia. If you guys want to check it out. But he DJ'd in between sets, and they actually did like I think 4 or 5 Taking Back Sunday songs at the end of the set.
Yeah,
with
crazy, man.
Eddie and Fred. It was ridiculous, man. It was so good. But yeah, Fred left in 2007, and I think they just like Eddie left / got kicked out. I don't know what it was. I think like a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of like touring and everything, there's one thing I recall, and I fell through it today. There, Matt. Way back when you got hit pretty hard with the headstock when you were on tour with This Is the Apocalypse. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I've hit myself with a headstock many a times.
Okay. There's one gnarly photo I passed through, and I'm like, oh my god! Like, what did you do?
Yeah, I know the exact shot that you're talking about.
Okay.
It was in Virginia. I want to say it was at a venue called Club Canal, or no, Canal Club's in Richmond. It was somewhere else in Virginia.
What year was this?
It was shortly after Dead Years came out.
That came out like 2012 or something like that. I forget.
What was Aaron Maloney drumming for them?
No, it was still Aaron, not Maloney. How shitty is it that I have to look up the time frame of my own bands that have been a part of it?
Hashtag 2020, man.
Yeah, like what is reality?
There's just so much stuff and time has passed. It's just so hard to keep up with your own stuff.
Dead Years came out in 2012.
Okay.
So let's say this was like 2013.
Okay.
We played some venue in Virginia. I remember Jerry Rausch, who was the singer of Sky Eats Airplane, and then was in what was that other band? With the guy who's now in A Mirror and from Tony Danza, Josh Travis.
Oh, Tony Danza, the Travis Extravaganza. I can't never say that name right. Jesus.
Yeah, but what was the band in the middle there that they were in? Glass Cloud.
Okay. Damn it. Now I could not remember for the life of me.
It was when Glass Cloud was the thing. Anyways.
Yeah.
Totally pointless. We played a show in Virginia, like literally the second song of the set. I just headbanged into my tuning peg and just like sliced the whole above my forehead open and just bled everywhere.
That's metal.
At that point in time, I've always been kind of obsessed with just like energy live. Like I remember you guys talked about the silo. Have either of you guys ever been to Soundwaves?
No, what? No.
Soundwave Studios.
Okay.
Or
so I'm that old. Soundwaves and Wooden Waves was a venue in Reading, and it was a skate park and a concert venue in Juan.
Yeah. I was gonna say, didn't they also do like really? They recorded some stuff there too, didn't they?
Yeah. The owner also was a part of a label. Frank, he had a label.
Yeah.
Frank,
okay.
Frankphobia.
Frankphobia. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I know Frank.
Dude, love that guy.
Great dude.
Mike
Great
Radka, that whole realm. So they had a place. Frank and his wife built this place, and it was a skate park and a concert venue. And I literally lived there in high school.
It
was awesome. Like when like Under Oath and Killswitch and From Autumn to Ashes and like all those kind of bands were blowing up, and then like punk bands and like the early Drive Through Records bands like Census Failed before they got signed in early November. Like I always just went to shows with like those bands, and I remember even like emo like pussy bands like Early November, like their bass player was just like jumping off like this giant thing. It was just like this energy that I just fell in love with. So anyways, when I started touring with Toda and I got like a chance to start like touring, I just kind of got in my head that I just wanted to go like 150%. And there's a GoPro cam, like a bass cam from Europe, that also is a good example. But
I was watching that earlier today, man. You fucking move like crazy on that stage.
I pretty much like pushed myself to the point where if I didn't throw up at the end of a set, I felt like shitty about myself.
Just pouring it all out.
So our buddy Brandon was at that show.
The Virginia one?
I think, yeah, the one you're talking about right now, yeah.
Wait, the one where I split my head, or?
Oh, Brennan, clarify.
He said I missed 13/8.
Oh, well, 13/8 is like that.
Dude, I had their CD. They were sick.
So even before Soundwaves and Wooden Waves, shows in Reading were held at a bowling alley called Heasters.
I've only heard shit. I've literally, this is like rumor mill shit that I've heard about when I lived in Birdsboro.
I love knowing the history of Reading. This is hilarious.
He said early November. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was at Soundwaves. Yeah, I mean, that was sick. They played there a bunch and always were awesome. But Heasters was where I started going to shows and what started the whole Reading scene that basically kind of built like Soundwaves and Wooden Waves. And like that, man, that place just like 13/8. And there was a band called Co-Walker. Yo, go online and look up a band called Co-Walker. They're like an indie rock band. I'm pretty sure Cowalker.com, COWALKER, or look on Spotify or whatever.
All right.
It was this dude, Tucker. He was in a band around 13/8 era called the Iron Team. And then him and a bunch of other Reading people started this band called Co-Walker. And it, to this day, is one of my... Bobby as well. Bobby and I play in the van on tour probably at least once a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay, Co-Walker.
Co-Walker.
Cool.
All right. Co-Walker.
We'll have to look up that link and I always do like a wrap up like on our blog on our website. So we'll have to put that link in there.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, man. We're like already an hour into this.
Dude,
like
so there's
closing it, we're running it up.
It's funny you're talking about that skate park. No, this is good. It's funny you're talking about that skate park in Reading. So like they just built one in Quakertown, and it's got like this like building attached to it for like bands. Like I think it opens up like there's like a garage like doors almost, so like they can have live bands like play out into the skate park. Yeah, it looks really cool. One of our buddies, Jim Layton.
Good old Jim. I love that guy.
So Jim Layton, shout out to Jim Layton. Like, he is like the saint of the music scene. So this guy does live sound. He's got like, I would say like easily $100,000 worth of equipment. Like, and he does sound for like all the hardcore like punk shows, like underground stuff, like not like big bands, like all the local bands. And he does it for like dirt cheap, like $150.
Oh, dude,
he's such a good dude. He's like,
he has good photography too. I was watching his photos. He does like everything: the audio, the booking, the photography. He helped us in my previous band book on one of our CD release shows in Quakertown, and we weren't thinking anything of it, and it was pretty good turnout for what it was.
Was that Founders?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, Founders.
So you're originally from Quakertown?
I lived in Pennsburg for half of my life. I lived in Lansdale for like almost 20 years, and then like another like 5 or 6 years. Almost 10 years. Lived in Pennsburg, and now I'm in Kutztown.
Do you guys know Justin?
Justin
from Paris, or previously from Paris.
Oh yeah, I knew. Oh my God, what is his last name?
Nate. Nate. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. Scott knew him, a friend of ours.
He did a tour with us, and he lives in Quakertown and is by far one of the best dudes I've had the privilege of touring and playing music with. Definitely someone you guys should consider reaching out to, because he's kind of local and whatnot, and just a really, really solid dude.
Oh, yeah. It's always good to have people like that in your corner.
What band is he in?
Paris.
He was playing drums for Paris for a while.
Oh, Paris, like with the chick singer?
Yes.
Yeah, with the V for the A.
Yeah, they're sick. Yeah, okay.
So
Juan, let's write that down. Let's get him on here.
They recently parted ways and whatnot, but
right.
He's a really, really awesome dude. Great musician. He's collaborating with a bunch of people online and always putting out good content, and just like a really awesome dude to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of like other, what was it? Sorry, Luke, you're saying something?
No, I was just gonna say we'll reach out to him.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I was gonna say, speaking of like bands and everything, and kind of wrapping this up, like what have you been bumping lately? There, Matt. Like I saw you were listening to Ariana Grande not too long ago.
Yeah, dude. I definitely, and anyone in my band will tell you the same thing. I definitely listen to the like widest range of music out of anyone, pretty much. Bradley pretty much only listens to like female pop artists. Bobby listens to a bunch of like nerdy Japanese bullshit.
I'm up there with it.
ER listens to the same thing that he's been listening to for 10 years. But I mean, he continues to write different things, but anyways, I don't get it. I don't understand how people don't just like listen to a wide range.
Oh, dude, I am right there with you. I was gonna say like the new sound and everything, like the like influences, like it reminds me so much of like Laney and like Knox Hamilton and 1975, like all that like nice and dancey stuff, and that like really cool like ear for pop and everything. So it's just like, and also the other bands like I've known that we all listen to, like Acceptance or like Spitalfield.
So Acceptance, Phantoms is definitely one of my favorite records of all time.
Oh, and dude, it's so good, front to back.
That record was one of the first like records that my girlfriend and I really kind of bonded on.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Contagious, I'm assuming, is the song, or what's your guys' favorite song?
Man, I don't know.
Like the one that you guys bonded over the most.
Just like that being a favorite record in general. And then shortly after I started playing with Emarosa, we got to play a couple of the Acceptance reunion shows.
Ooh, oh, nice.
So, like being able to play with them and meet them, like Ryan, their bass player, has come out to random dates on tour. He works for Microsoft and travels all the time.
Oh, wow.
So he'll just like show up to a show randomly and come hang out, and like those dudes are all so awesome.
They seem like cool dudes.
Yeah. So that's definitely. I mean, getting back to your original question.
Yeah, sorry.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
What's your favorite podcast? Because you mentioned that earlier.
Man, I don't know. I don't want to say that.
There's much stuff out there.
So I listen to a handful of like political bullshit, and most of it's more on like the satirical side. But I try to listen to a wide range of things and not play to one side or the other, or whatever you want to call it.
It's really hard to find anything like that that's not biased on either side.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you listen to Last Podcast on the Left?
I have a couple times. I listen to like Chapo Trap House, or I listen to Pod Save America every once in a while. My girlfriend listens to The Daily, which is done by like the New York Times. It's just like a 30-minute every morning kind of. They give you a rundown of one thing and then a general run through of the kind of bullet points of what's happening. It's a good thing to just kind of keep somewhat current with things, but not be like super just bogged down.
Sure.
Yeah, I appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah. I listen to some other just like kind of like self-helpy kind of things. Like when I work landscaping when I'm home, so usually the first third of my day I'll listen to like podcasts and just kind of like get in that zone, and then I'll switch it up and I listen to a lot of rap and hip hop.
Oh, really?
I've been listening to a lot of like old school Busta, Dr. Dre Compton record.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, dude.
I'm a big fan of like Run the Jewels.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait for Run the Jewels Part 4.
Damn.
It's the little snippets they keep putting out, and that one leak track that came out last week. I was like, I am ready. I'm so ready for this.
Yeah, I've gotten to see them live twice, and they're awesome. I'm all about pretty much everything they stand for.
Yeah.
But then I'll sprinkle in stuff from like growing up. Like I grew up listening to a lot of like punk and post-hardcore and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I still listen to a handful of metal. Not a ton. I've honestly really been digging the new ABR record.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Oh, wait, Augsburg's Red. Sorry, I thought you said AVR. My bad. Yeah, listen to some new stuff.
I mean, I grew up going to like all their early shows, and I've always enjoyed that band, but I had honestly stopped listening to them the last like several records or so. And I gave this new record a chance the other day, and it was like,
oh no, we have Coy now with us.
Sorry, he's making too much noise.
It's all good. Now we got 4 co-stars. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, what was that? I've been listening. Well, speaking of like rap and everything, I've been checking out like the new Injury Reserve. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them at all or not.
No.
Now, if you like that kind of like what they consider like spaz rap, or like the newer like that kind of resurgence of like hip hop and rap groups now they're having, like Brockhampton, Injury Reserve, Snipping. No, sorry, Clipping. Clipping's another one of those groups that kind of sound like Run the Jewels.
I love Brockhampton.
Oh yeah? You like listening to Sugar at all?
What's that? The
new album that came out. Oh, sorry, Ginger. My bad. Sugar's the track on that. That's my favorite track on the album, but yeah, Ginger.
I'm honestly not sure. I know I've listened to like they're all just like numbered, like 1, 2, and 3 or whatever.
Yeah, that was that quick release they did when Amir was out of the band.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they did those because those are the last couple of tracks that or production that he helped do, and then I think Ginger is the first time Amir's not on anything. It just came out a few months ago.
I'm sure I've listened to it. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, I've always been a fan of pretty much anything they've put out.
Oh yeah, they're fun, man.
I'll definitely check out the other ones you were mentioning though.
Yeah, Injury Reserve's fun. Like good old spaz rap, and just another like one of those like group. Like I think it's 3 or 4 dudes now.
Okay.
And Clipping features some, I can't remember his name, but he's an actor who also happens to be in this hip hop group, and it's really odd, just like this like kind of like industrial club sound they have in the background too. It's interesting.
All right.
I've been doing like a throwback this week.
Yeah.
I really like one of my, I think I said this in our band chat, because nobody in the band listens to this band, but Further Seems Forever is like one of my biggest influences.
Yo,
I listen to that, man.
How to Start a Fire is one of my favorite records of all time.
Dude,
there we go.
Jason Gleason, I think, is the best vocalist of that band.
I had this.
Chris Carrabba.
Yep.
But How to Start a Fire, start to finish, untouchable.
I think Chris Carrabba, I think, was technically like a better songwriter lyrically.
Sure, I'll buy that.
I had this argument with John Hyrick the other night because he's so like no, he was drunk too, of course, but like he was like no, Chris Carrabba, but like Chris Carrabba's like songwriting is definitely more iconic.
Sure.
But I saw both live. Like I saw Chris Carrabba.
I never got to see Gleason live.
I saw Further Sims Forever live before I got into them at Purple Door with Chris Carrabba.
Nice.
Vocals were horrible. So
I have a funny story about Chris Carrabba then, but go on.
Yeah, so the first album he heavily relied on auto-tune. He leaves the band because Dashboard Confessional gets fucking huge.
Further didn't really want to tour.
Yeah, like they still don't really want to tour.
Yeah. So,
right. So Chris leaves. They add on Jason, who's literally like 15 years younger than all of them. Like I don't think he was even like 21. Like he may have been like 20, 21 when he joined Further Seems Forever. He was only in Leviathan, which was a hardcore band, had never really done melodic vocals. By far, like way better live than Chris. Just such a strong vocalist. Like I love Chris Carrabba. I like. Don't get me wrong. Like the Moon Is Down is like one of my like if I had to do like top 10 albums that influenced me that I love, like The Moon Is Down and How to Start a Fire are on that list.
Same.
But like How to Start a Fire was just like his vocals are just so like boom like. And live, I saw them at the Troc with Anne Boleyn on their first record tour, and movie Life.
Oh,
and
man.
dude, Jason Gleason was like his vocals were even stronger live. Like it was just like
That's
ridiculous.
So jealous,
dude. It was so good. But like, I've been doing Further Seems Forever, going back. I've even been listening to the album with John was the lead singer of Sensefield, their third singer, Sensefield's a great band. I just don't think his vocals really fit that well for Further Seems Forever. He just doesn't have the dynamic range.
When that record came out, I hated it. And then like a year or so ago, I remember being like, I'm going to give this another shot. And I dove back into it, and I love Hide Nothing. I really do.
I've been doing that this week. I actually have been listening to it and have been thinking about having like us do I forget what the main song on that album was, but like about like Juan and I doing like an acoustic version, just because it's like I have a little bit more of like that Jason Gleason range, and I watched a video of him singing it and I was like, this is perfection. But I've been listening to Further Seems Forever, and I went back and started listening because the Bad Christian. I listen to the Bad Christian podcast, and they had the lead singer of May on.
Oh, dude, I love May.
Dude, go and listen to the podcast they did this week with him.
Okay.
Because they did like they all did it ahead of time, but they played. It's all the dudes from Emory playing. It might not even be on the Bad Christian. I don't know. It's Emory has it up, but like. It's all the dudes from Emory playing songs from the first album with the singer singing, and Devin and Toby doing backup vocals.
Wow!
And it's just it's literally the drummer on like a synth pad playing drums, and like two other like keyboards. Like, so it's all electronic, super, like, it's, dude, it was sick. Dude. So I that made me go back and listen to May, but I've been like kind of doing like that throwback of like Tooth and Nail era, like early 2000s stuff.
I love all that shit, man. Dave Elkins is a great songwriter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when Everglow came out. I mean, I love Destination Beautiful, but I remember when Everglow came out, and I just like sitting there in headphones through that whole intro when that first song hit. Oh my God, it was just like,
or Copeland, dude.
Yeah, Copeland's ruined for me.
I remember the first time I listened to Copeland. I want to say it was like 03, 04, when they came out with their first album, somewhere around there, maybe. And I remember sitting in the car and like crying because it was like so beautiful. Like, yeah, dude.
I saw them at Chameleon Club when Beneath Medicine Tree came out.
Oh, I missed that one.
They opened for Something Corporate.
Yes.
And I loved Copeland. So this is getting back to our earlier conversation. So 131 Reimagine was done with Aaron Marsh from Copeland.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
I did not know that. That's fucking rad.
There was a Versus Reimagine that he had done as well.
Okay.
So I obviously was not a part of that. So the 131 Reimagine, we had walked in with this idea of doing something very different, and he shit on that idea very hard. And he was, man, it sucks. It was a really bad experience. He just like, if you want to write sad piano Christian rock songs, he's the dude. He's great. He has that dialed in.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything outside of that, he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
And it was a bummer, and it ruined that band for me, honestly.
Okay.
I can't listen to Copeland anymore.
That's a shame.
So he's kind of like one of those like super picky musicians, isn't he?
He knows what he's good at and what he wants to do, and he sticks to his vibe. And like Courtney or even Casey from 131, they just were very different. They have very different mentalities about approaching writing music.
Right.
And same with like Grant and Carson, or like, I don't know, almost anyone else I've worked with. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, it's really, it makes the whole, not just the recording process, but like kind of like what you're adding into the recording and everything. Having a producer that not only has a good ear, but like is able to kind of, mesh well with what you're trying to do and come up with their own ideas and add that into it instead of just like, okay, I'm just here to record. It just makes the process so much easier and so less stressful.
Yeah.
Like they're actually contributing something.
I mean, I can't say enough how much I love Courtney and or Casey, but Grant and Carson, who run out of Atrium, or I don't even know if it's still called Atrium, but Grant and Carson
recently.
Think Loud? Is that what it is now?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that whole studio and those two dudes are the best. They are the best recording experience you can have.
Okay. I know I've had a few friends that went
from my personal opinion.
Yeah, and they like the recording process. It's good to know that still kind of is true and speaks volumes even with yourself.
Do you think we should end the cast with our Johnny stories?
I mean, so here's the thing. I've only met Johnny a handful of times.
Okay, same.
I've been around some very crazy shit. But outside of that, I mean, that dude sucks. But yeah, I mean, sure, if you want to share a story, that's fine. I mean, he is a part of something that I am a part of, and I think that dude sucks, and if I had the chance, I would love to punch him in the face. But
damn,
I mean, outside of that, it is what it is.
So I don't know which. So this was Slaves. So after he like
great band,
great band. So one of the things like
what a band name though.
Yeah.
So,
and the guy has it tattooed on his face. A white dude has Slaves tattooed on his face. Carry on.
I got no comment for that. It just so.
So one of our friends that is in a local band, I don't think they're not together anymore. Cortana was playing the Voltage Lounge.
Yep. Cortana, shout out Cortana.
It was I'm probably not even gonna remember the name of the big band that was headlining, but I was hanging out with all the bands that were touring with. It was like King something was the headlining band. King
810?
I don't know. What was it?
King 810?
No, it was like a hardcore band, but it was like Outline in Color. Like this was like one of their. Were you?
Yeah, I remember
Voltage Lounge. So
it sounds so familiar.
It was Movements, Slaves, Outline in Color, and King.
It wasn't Movements. It was Monuments.
No. It was Movement.
You sure?
Movements. Yes.
Yes. That's a weird show. Dude.
Yes. Here's why I remember. So I get there and like I'm helping Cortana bring their stuff in. So like I meet, like I'm an outgoing guy. Like I've got this big red beard, and like I start cracking jokes and smacking dudes' asses. So like these bands are like, "Who the fuck is this dude? What band is he in?" And I'm like, "Oh no, like I'm not playing tonight." So like I meet like the dudes from Outline and Color, which were really nice dudes, really cool music. Movements was sick. Movements was sick. I was super stoked to see them. And then it was like Slaves was playing, and I'm in the crowd, and I remember this like sleazy dude next to me. He's super fucked up on something, and he goes, "Yo, man!" Like while Slaves is playing, he's like, "Yo, John, like here's my text from Johnny. Like I'm here to supply him." And I'm like, "Cool, dude." And he's like, "Yeah, man, we're hanging out after the show." I'm like, "All right." Like he's like, "Yeah, like this text from Johnny." I'm like, "All right, dude." Like I was backstage with them. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like, and after the show, it's like 2 a.m. I like 2 a.m. I'm saying goodbye to everybody after the show, and then like 2 a.m. I start getting messages from like all the dudes in like Movements, Outline and Color, like and they're basically like, "Do you know where Johnny is?" Because like I wasn't really talking with them, but they're at this point they're like reaching out to everybody they met that night, because Johnny just disappeared after like literally after their set was done at the Voltage Lounge, and they had no clue where he was. Like, just
you want to know? Like, you know what's funny about that? The story that I was going to tell. So I became a part of Emarosa because of Jonas. Jonas is the guitar player I replaced.
Okay.
When in 2006, I played in this band called And We Danced, and we booked a tour through MySpace with a band from Kentucky. And
wait, who was in And We Dance? Was it Nick's brother?
Yeah, it was all Potsdam people.
I went to college with Nick.
Yeah, that was the first tour I ever did, and it was with Jonas's metal band from Kentucky.
Yeah, okay.
So I became friends with Jonas, and after that tour, he quit that band and joined Emarosa.
Okay.
So he started touring with Emarosa, and anytime they would come through PA, I would hang out with them and catch up. And I went to Scranton Warped Tour, and they played up on like the field in the Ernie Ball stage in that like shitty trailer whatever outside of the amphitheater.
Dude, that is so weird when they kept doing it that way too. I'm like, stop doing the stage.
Yeah. So they played there, and afterwards I was hanging out with Jonas, and I was like, I want to say I had maybe hung out with him twice beforehand, and he was very iffy on the whole Johnny scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, so what is Warped Tour like with him? And he's like,
God.
Dude, we roll in. At the time, they were sharing a bus with someone, or they like had some old cheap shitty bus or whatever.
Right.
He said, we pull in, we park at 9 a.m. That dude disappears until our set. He shows up, he walks on stage, he does the set, he walks out, and he disappears. And I don't see him at all.
Yep.
So that doesn't surprise me at all.
It's sad, dude. Like, because he's like a very good vocalist. But like, dude, like I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm not surprised that you have that standpoint. Like everybody has that friend that has fucked everybody and burned all their bridges, and he's that dude. Like, it's sad because he's so talented, but like,
I was pulling for him in that resurgence he had once he was officially on Dance Gavin Dance, because like he came out with that second solo album. It was beautiful. There was a lot of like, you know, like the what was kind of the inkling to like, yeah, this is my recovery. This is, you know, I'm really thankful for this. And I don't know, it just seems like the dude just could not get up from for some reason, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
Listen, I am a very empathetic person, and I try to be as open-minded as possible, and I try to reach out and help people if they need it or whatever. But that dude's had too many fucking chances, and I just like don't care anymore. And anyone who still supports him going forward, I'm just like, I'm over it. It just doesn't matter. It's crossed too many bridges at this point.
Yeah. I saw that with I'm friends with the dudes from the Dangerous Summer.
Yeah. And
they like their ex-guitarist, I won't even say his name.
Yeah, I know they had a lot of tour problems and shit with him.
Dude, their first original lead guitarist, Brian, is in a band that we've played with. And like it sucks because I know people that like were in the Dangerous Summer when the Dangerous Summer wasn't doing stuff. They couldn't even use the name the Dangerous Summer because that guitarist had like fucked their name. Like just like with fans. I actually watched the Dangerous Summer's Facebook follower number like go down in the span of like 5 months from like 150. This was like 2013 or something like that. Dude, it went from like 100 and like almost like 200,000 followers down to like 12,000.
Yeah, I remember it was right around that what was that Wet Paint record? They did a tour with Conditions and Versa.
Yeah, War Paint. Yeah.
Versa. I haven't named so long.
Yeah, they played in Philly at North Star Bar. And
R.I.P.
North Star.
R.I. ? I went and hung out with Conditions, and I ended up leaving early. And that was the night I'm pretty sure that the dude in question and a handful of other people were like throwing bottles at some of the bands and like got super drunk and starting problems. And that was like the start of their whole like decline through the industry.
Wow.
And it was such a shame because I think AJ, I've never met him, but I've followed him for a long time.
He's a good dude.
I love his lyrics. I love what he writes. I feel like he's a good dude.
He is.
And I've heard good things about like the rest of the band. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they're reactive and like crushing it again.
Yeah.
Because I've always really, really dug. What was a record before War Paint?
Reach for the Sun.
Yo, that record! Oh my god, it's so good.
That might be in my top. That might be in my top 10.
Fuck, what is that track called? Some Other Rain. I honestly forget now.
That's not my favorite. My favorite one's the one where he talks about his parents dying, like in the first line.
Yeah,
it's like number 3 on the album. It's so good. Yeah,
that record's so good,
dude. Yeah,
it reminds me of that like kind of earlier starting line.
Yeah,
like super like on it. Man,
Permanent Rain. There we go.
Permanent Rain. AJ just posted pictures. Yeah, I commented on it yesterday. It was like the first band he was in like middle school or high school, and it was like at like a YMCA show or something like that. He posted the pictures, and he totally looked like they wanted to be a lit cover band. Like it was so like. Dude, I wrote like I was like, were you guys playing lit covers for this? Like, he looks like a Sum 41 like lit like early 2000s look. It was so funny.
Dude,
but yeah,
good old pop punk, with the little like bracelets and everything.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That was something I was gonna start doing, but it's so bad.
Yeah, the short spiky hair, like yeah.
I had the tips and the everything, man. I was like, I'm ready to be on MTV.
That emo pop punk era was where I thrived.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Oh God.
But dude, thank you for coming on the show today, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug real quick, or any shout outs you want to give?
Like I said, we launched a Patreon today. I think it's just patreon.com/Emarosa. Let's see. Outside of that, I don't know. I mean, we're writing. The Patreon's going to be the best place to keep in touch with what we're up to currently, other than our regular socials.
Mm-hmm.
All of my socials are Marcellus Wallace, if you care to follow me. Outside of that, no. I'm just kind of hanging out and trying to take life a day at a time.
I hear that, man.
When we can take it. Luke, are you out of beer, man?
I am out of beer. I know a while back you guys were playing, I think at the Champ it was.
Yeah. Okay.
And we tried getting on that show. That was back when we were Waking Mercury. And we tried getting on that show, and then they were like, "No, it's already booked." And then like the day of or something like that, like somebody dropped or couldn't play. And they're like, "Can you guys play it?" And we were like somebody in the band couldn't. And I was like, "God damn it!" Like, but
I have some good memories from that place.
I don't think it's around anymore.
It's not.
No.
Yeah,
probably for the best, but
I played a few shows there when they're like, "Oh, you have hardcore in your name because you're a pop punk hardcore band." They're like, "You can play with these metal bands that won't like you."
Yep.
Like we were always ostracized because we were like in neon and crap, and like like fun shirts, and they're just all black.
Yes.
all mad, all long, well, like my hair now, but like just crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for being on the show. And once the bars are back open in Phoenixville, let's go get some brews. We've been talking about it for like a year now.
Yo, have you been to Hidden River yet?
Dude, no. Yes. Let's go.
Okay.
Yes.
So, outside of Tired Hands, Hidden River is the best brewery in the area.
Yeah, Berks County does not deserve Hidden River. I'm going to say that right now.
Dude, I mean, Phoenixville in general is a treat to live in.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I agree. Let's definitely grab some brews.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to everybody. Go check out Emarosa if you haven't already. And we'll have those links up and everything, all the stuff we talked about. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Much love, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Chaka for the bread and butter, boys.
Chaka.
Take care, man. Have a good night.
See ya.
Bye.